I think the good thing about it is that I don't spend when I'm depressed. Being sad does not cause me to spend more.
It doesn't trigger you to into anything in particular.
Made gin and tonics, sat down on my bedroom floor and just watched the chart go up and down and stall it up and down. We just wanted to put some money in there so that we would have more. We would just want more excitement from watching the thing.
Yeah, actually that was just pure gamble.
I think the financial system that I mentioned earlier would help with that. Having forced savings, having an emergency fund that is not your sister.
I mean, so my emergency fund is right here. It's this pink color sweat.
I don't know who, maybe. I think this is a very good episode.
Oh, really?
I think this is very good because you are being stubborn and I'm scolding you.
Yeah, but I think one thing that you mentioned previously was, but what if I have kids? But you said, but wouldn't you want to give your kids Zara? So that's something that I haven't really thought of yet, and that may make me chase money a little bit more.
The biggest purchase that I regret was a Celine bag that I bought when I was working at Her World. Hi friends! Welcome back to our new series where Aaron and I enjoy snacks and dive into topics that we are passionate about, like personal finance, investing, trading, side hustles, entrepreneurship. Join us for a blend of light-hearted conversations and deep dives into the things that fascinate us, ranging from the philosophical to the technical and sometimes even comical.
I'm going to get you back one day for that.
Think of this series as us inviting you to come to our place to hang out, grab a snack, get comfortable, and let's get started.
So today we will be talking about the psychology of money.
By Morgan Howe. I read the book. The book was good.
Yeah, we're not going to be talking about a book today, but we just like the title. The Psychology of Money sounds interesting, but Sarah did read a book called The Psychology of Money. How do you find that book?
It's a really good book. I think he talks less about tactical tools about how to make money, but the mindsets and the principles about making money. Things like you should think about risk, things like controlling your emotions. There's definitely things about emotions, but I wouldn't say it's about trading, but it was very big picture money stuff. Not really like a tactical look into money.
Right. Well, read so much, but you can't remember anything. Congratulations, you're a complete waste of time.
That's not how reading works. Can you please tell? You watch so many videos. Please tell me about the Alex Hormozi video you watched 2 weeks ago.
Anyway, let's continue. There's a few questions that we just want to discuss, and I've never really heard how Sarah said this as well. So this is the first time I'm going to be hearing her answers for this. How do your emotions influence your spending habits and financial decisions?
When I'm not keeping track of my expenses and my systems are not in place and I'm not doing the things I need to keep my system alive, then spending brings me joy, I keep spending, and then at a certain point, anxiety kicks in and I stop spending. I think the good thing about it is that I don't spend when I'm depressed. Being sad does not cause me to spend more.
It doesn't trigger you to into anything in particular, like to overspend or anything.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Okay.
You are a robot and you have no feelings, so that's why you have so much self-control and you don't spend money.
Retribution!
Guys, we've figured it out. We've figured out how Aaron doesn't spend money. If you've watched any of the other podcasts we've been on about personal finance, Aaron's always going on about how he does not spend money, he does not need a budget, he does not track his expenses because he does not spend money. And now we know why he does not spend money, because you're a robot with no emotions.
Well, actually, to be fair, I was
You are a robot.
I was about to open up with, well, I'm actually very emotionless when it comes to spending,
See?
so I don't spend a lot of money.
No, actually that's not true. You have so much anxiety around money. You do have anxiety around money.
I'm anxious when I don't have money, yes, but when it comes to spending habits and financial decisions, then I don't especially for spending habits, I'm very emotionless about it. Because I don't really have any strong desires to spend, and I don't think about, when I'm very emotional, I don't think about spending money. And when I'm not emotional, I also don't really think about spending money. I just buy something when I need something.
Really? I feel like your anxiety about money stops you from spending money, and yet when you do spend money, it does not bring you the joy that it brings me. So there's no pull factor for you to spend money, but there's a lot of pull factor for you to not spend money. You know what I mean?
I get it.
Because you are always constantly worried about not having enough money, which thereby is encouragement for you to not spend. And then there's no counterbalance on the other side that brings you happiness when you do spend, so you spend. very little. But for me,
I guess so,
I have
yeah.
a less anxiety with money, and I also have a lot of joy when I spend money. So that's why I spend a lot more than you.
I guess so, yeah. But I guess the anxiety for money also stems from the goal that I have. Because like the goal that I have is to buy a house. And so that requires a lot of money. And so that I guess that gives me a bit more anxiety. And I guess you're right, because when I buy things, I don't have that dopamine kick that people always get when they shop for
Aaron
new
has
things.
dopamine kicks from nothing. What gives you dopamine kicks?
Playing games.
Oh, okay. I guess
that is true, right? I love spending time with my friends, working, achieving something through hard work. Yeah, I think that's like realistically, that's what gives me the most amount of dopamine hit.
I get dopamine hits from a lot of different things.
Yeah, you get dopamine hit from everything.
Yeah. Next question. Can we identify and address our emotional triggers related to money?
So for me, how do I stop being anxious? Is I plan everything out. I have a goal, right? I want to buy my house in 2 years. So I know how much money I need. So I know how much money I need to save every single month. And as long as I save that amount of money every single month, I know that I'll be able to hit that goal by that time. And then I'm not worried about. And I'm just not worried about
But do you have a plan?
it. The plan is to just keep saving money at the appropriate amount until I can reach the
So
goal.
how much money are you saving a month?
So right now I'm trying to save almost everything, so almost $5,000 a month. About that, I'm trying to save like basically everything. But my expenditure is around like $500 to $1,000 every single month. So I'm trying to save like 5,000. If I save 5,000 every single month, then I would be able to hit my goal in 2 years' time.
And
Yeah.
a lot of
Provided
his, a lot
that-
of his savings are in my bank account or in my
In our business
Mumu account.
Oh right, it is in your account. Right.
In
yeah.
my Mumu account.
It's okay. It's all tracked. It's all logged. It's all transferred out to her account, so it all has to be accounted for and be placed back into the company account eventually. So it's all good.
And all the invoices are to my bank account, my personal bank account. So how does that make you feel about your money situation? Any emotional triggers? Does that any emotions does that trigger? You trigger? Does that trigger any emotions?
It's kind of triggering my thought process of running to the kitchen to take a knife.
But then you won't get my money.
Huh,
You won't get your money.
You're dead, but you'll be dead, and you're not married.
Yeah, but then how are you going to get access to my to my passwords?
But I'm the other business director. And it will all.
No, but which is exactly what I was saying. See, personal bank account, personal Mumu account, invoice to my personal account.
Not all. Is it all business? Oh, wait, all of it is invoiced to your personal account.
Yeah.
Then how do we pay for all the business expense?
Okay, we'll talk about that another time. We can make a video another day about explaining how we manage company, like business money, company money. It will be a learning lesson for Aaron because he does not know how I manage our company's money.
Yeah, right now I'm just letting her run that part.
And then he'll get a heart attack when he realizes I spent all my money on my biz class flight.
Yeah, that plane will be shot down. I spent all my money to hire a hitman.
Okay, let's see. What was it? Oh, identify and address our emotional triggers. I guess to stop myself from getting into that loop, one of the main things I do is automate my savings. So I have 10% of my income automatically taken out and stored into my investment account. One of the ways I stop myself from spiraling into anxiety and happiness is by following Ramit Sethi's conscious spending plan. It's more of like a system. I call it a system. It should be called conscious spending system actually. A very important part of my financial system is automating my savings or forced savings, which are actually investments. So I have an emergency fund, which is separate from that. I don't touch it. And then I also have automated investments, which I also call automated savings. I have a fixed amount, 10% of my income. It used to be 20%, now it's at 10% of my income goes into my broker and it automatically buys into the S&P 500 and a bunch of other ETFs every single month. It's automated, so I can't touch it. And if I really want to take that money out to spend it, it's a whole process of selling my ETF, bringing the money out of my broker. So I don't do it. That forced savings lowers my anxiety every month because I know that even if I spend till my bank account is at zero, I have already saved 10% of my income. Another thing that we have been doing is that approximately half of everything we make is immediately thrown into Mumu's money market fund. Half of the money we make goes in there as well. So, which is why I have not increased my forced savings because this is a huge amount of money. Yeah, so those are things that now, so even when my bank account goes to a really low number, I know that I'm saving like what, 40 50% of my income, which is, I think, higher than most people. And I also have a plan at the beginning of the year. So I don't plan so far in advance, but I have a budget that I follow for the whole year. So I kind of pick out things that I'm going to be spending on, like big ticket items. I
Right.
account for that, including tax, insurance, travel, trips, weddings, things like that.
For someone who is so against planning, you actually have a lot of plan.
But I don't look at these things as plans though. I look at them more as like systems. And they are very flexible and malleable. I can always go in and switch it out. It's not. I don't like plans that are set in stone.
Right.
And these are all like, they are guidelines. They are like financial guidelines for the year. So I have a Notion template where
Oh
it
yes,
automatically.
you got to check out her Notion template.
Oh yeah, we'll link it down below. It is a Notion template that I created, and if you guys have not done your financial planning for this year, you guys can check out the template. It's our very first digital product. Please support. but yes, so I basically planned out like how much I want to save, how much I want to invest, based off my estimated salary, and my monthly expenses and everything. They're all like guidelines, but it always fluctuates. I budget $100 for personal food, for example. Some months it's like $500, some months it's $50. So just play the numbers.
All right, my turn. Let's see what's the next question we should handle. There's so many questions that you take so long to answer one question. What's your problem?
I'm providing value.
All right, Sarah. How does the fear of missing out impact your financial choices, especially in the context of investing?
Not much.
Elaborate a bit more on that.
My investments, most of my investments are already fixed. So the FOMO is not there, and the emotional selling and buying is also not there because it's already fixed. I'm dollar cost averaging.
Right. So that's like a very good strategy to avoid that as well.
Yeah. And then a lot of my trades are done by my emotionless brother.
Yep. So going back to that, I don't really have too much of the FOMO because if I'm not a part of if I'm not a part of that investment cycle, there's always another one to catch. Like if you look at the markets every single day, there's always almost something new to get into. So that normally doesn't concern me as much.
Somebody gonna match my freak. Is somebody you know the song?
No.
Huh?
No. Yeah. So I'm not really. Yeah. So I don't really have too much of a FOMO. Thankfully, I think the closest FOMO that I had was during the GME. I just FOMO and
we went in.
yeah, we went in.
For the lols.
Yeah, but it was a very small amount, but we just like whacked. I think it was $100, $200, something like that.
We went in during GME, but we went in mostly for the lols. We literally made gin and tonics, sat down on my bedroom floor and just watched the chart go up and down and stall it up and down. We just wanted to put some money in there so that we would we would just want more excitement from watching the thing.
Yeah, actually that was just pure gamble. We weren't even sure whether we were going to make money or lose money.
It was for the lols. We just wanted to be psychologically invested in it so that we could feel things when the stock market moved.
Yeah, not something that we recommend people to do. We were just like sipping on, we had gin and tonics and we're just chilling right there.
But like, to be honest, we didn't put that much money in. Instead of us spending that money, we put it in the stock market and felt the lols there.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was good times. I think I was in army back then.
Next question. Is somebody gonna match my freak? What are some effective ways to build financial resilience and cope with financial setbacks? I think the financial system that I mentioned earlier would help with that. Having forced savings, having an emergency fund that is not your sister.
Makes sense. You know, some of it makes sense. Yep.
You know what? We should do an episode on like Sarah reacts to Aaron's financial system. I'll like that off.
Okay, so my financial system is that's it.
Come back, that's my reaction. You can't just...
I mean, yeah, I don't really have a system.
So how are you preparing for financial setbacks?
Oof. To be honest, I don't really have, which is why like this question was kind of hard for me. Like I don't really have something to help me out.
Do you not think that's why you have so much anxiety around money?
Well, I have anxiety around money because I have a goal that I want to achieve, and I may not be able to achieve it.
Do you not have anxiety with regards to financial setbacks or financial problems? Because you are someone that needs a lot of stability, and a financial setback would be very devastating for you, know? Because I'm someone that's more chill, right? If I lose all my money, I'm like, oh man, that sucks. I guess just gotta work and make it again.
Yeah, which is why when you brought up the question, actually, I
Okay,
don't
not all
really,
my money, but I have a certain amount that I have saved up, so I'm not that afraid. But
I don't really have, like, I have not really put thought into it because I'm always planning ways for me to not end up in that situation, like just not spending money is a very good way to get out of the situation. But I think something's uncontrollable, right? If that were to happen, to be honest, if let's say I lose all my money right now, I think I'll be beyond devastated.
so for your plans for your house, do you include like emergency fund?
Not really.
Maybe you should. Because like that means on the day, if disaster strikes, if you're so unlucky, if disaster strikes the day that you pay for your house, doesn't that mean you will be in financial ruin?
Yes.
If you don't set like a buffer.
Yeah, so my emergency fund is right here. It's this pink color
I
sweater.
don't know who. Maybe I die.
Yeah, which is why I would probably have to think about it, but I just haven't. If I'm thinking right now,
But you said you make plans so you don't have anxiety. So maybe
yeah,
you
like
should.
because I don't think that's gonna happen, but I never really thought that far because I haven't seen it happen to anyone that I know, anyone close to me, or anyone even remotely far from me, like to end up
None
in
of your
that kind
friends
of
have bought a
financial
house.
ruin. Exactly as I've said. I haven't really seen that, so I guess it never really occurred to me. But I guess
Have you not listened to Ramit Sethi?
no, I listen to Sarah Wee. Haha, sponsor. No, Rumi Sethi.
Don't say no. Aaron does not listen to me. Aaron absolutely does not listen to me. Because look at my financial system versus his.
I don't know, but I guess if something's out of my control, then it doesn't really matter how much I plan for it.
That's
Because
an emergency fund. An
but
emergency
what if the
fund
emergency
is
fund like goes bust as well?
3 to 6, but it still gives you 6 months of runway versus none at all. It gives you 6 months to find a job versus selling a house the day after you bought it.
Right. Yeah, I guess so. I don't know, but I
3
feel
to 6 months. Your emergency fund should be 3 to 6 months of your monthly expenses or your household expenses. So, for example, for you, it could be the price of your mortgage plus you and your fiance's expenses, and then buffer for 6 months, and then put that into your plan on top of the cost of your house.
yeah, I probably should have some sort of buffer and emergency fund.
Yeah.
But I guess I don't really think too much about it now because my housing fund is still around. So if for whatever reason, I guess I'll think about it when it's closer.
If you already have a plan of how much you're supposed to save monthly, then you need to add that into your monthly plan. So like if you are assuming that you need $200,000 for your down payment,
Right.
if let's say you budget about $5,000 a month for both of you to live comfortably and not have to worry about stuff, and also pay your mortgage, 5,000. So 5,000 times 6 is 30,000, right? So you add that to your total house budget, 230K instead of 200K, and then you divide by how many months leading up to it, because that's what you said you did, right?
Yeah.
Thing. So that's how you would budget for
Man,
it.
that makes it hard.
Yeah, it will make it harder, but it also
Yeah.
at least. But the thing is that once you save up for that emergency fund, then you won't touch it for the rest of your life. So even if there's no emergency occurs ever, then you just have this $30,000 that is there forever, just in case something occurs. But of course,
That's
your
true, that's
emergency
true.
fund will increase as your lifestyle and your family members and household increase. So you should have an emergency fund because it doesn't mean that if something.
Well, I mean, I do have the cash. Well, it's not on hand, but
Yeah, so it's not on
Yeah.
hand. So you need cash on hand, because what if the market tanks when you need the money, which is usually probably the case
yeah. I guess you're right, but most of my money is held in money market funds at
for
the
now.
moment.
But it probably won't be held in there for a long time, and that's the money you are using to pay for the house. That is already included in your housing fund, so you need to save for your emergency fund as well.
I guess so. I'll think about it.
Especially for someone like you and your fiance who are both extremely anxious people.
I guess so, yeah. I should probably have an emergency fund. I guess because in my mind it's 200,000, but I guess why I have a bit more anxiety about it is because I don't know if it's going to be 200,000 because the house that we want is not even in the market yet. So I can't have a definitive goal, which is why I don't really 200K is an arbitrary number as well. So I don't. Yeah, but I guess if I just take all of my housing fund and put it as emergency fund, then I do have an emergency fund.
But it's
ready.
not, it's a different fund. That's not how.
But I should have the
financial system
emergency
works.
fund before I have the housing fund, right? I got to fill up my emergency fund first, right?
Yeah, so technically now you have an emergency fund, so then
Right.
that money cannot be used for your house.
Right. So I got to separate that.
No, but it's combined. But the thing is, so I don't know if you're gonna have a combined family emergency fund or an individual emergency fund. If it's an individual emergency fund, then it will be much smaller because your expenses are much lesser.
I guess I gotta sit down and plan with my fiance one day. I don't know.
Well, I think this is a very good episode.
Oh, really?
I think this is very good because you are being stubborn and I'm scolding you. And it's something that people need to learn about because it's showing like how, even though we talk about finance a lot, like you are very into trading and stuff like that, but you don't have all your financial systems set up. You enjoy watching videos and implementing and executing like trades and things to do with investing and growing wealth, but managing and
Building a
maintaining
system?
well, it's not something that you enjoy as much.
Which is good, which is why we have this session about digging into our psychologies of
instead
money.
Instead of this being a psychology of money, it's me scolding Aaron into saving an emergency fund.
You don't have to put it that way.
But that's what it is. It's good. So you guys, if you guys don't have an emergency fund, just pretend that you're Aaron and I'm scolding you too. It's very important, especially if you're someone who's anxious. You want to give yourself a runway so that you will be able to get yourself back on your feet and not have to liquidate your investments and sacrifice your retirement.
I don't want to get to a point where I've liquidated my investments. I think that's where you have a lot of anxiety as well because
so much anxiety and I have a solution, but he's like, I don't want to.
I don't like your solution, go away.
It's the best solution. Ask for me, Sati.
Okay, I'll go email him also. See whether he replies us.
I guess the takeaway from financial setback is really is having a safety net.
What if all of it is gone? Let's say your financial safety net was in DBS, Singapore's local bank, and it just evaporates and you're now left with no savings.
That's why I put my money in many different brokers and many different banks.
What if you lose all of it? Like let's say for whatever reason your accounts got frozen and you have to restart. What would you do?
Continue doing what I'm doing now. Just maybe drive Grab/Uber in your country. Good way to make money here in Singapore. You don't need
that's true.
You don't need any special requirements if you won't make enough money to survive.
That's true, yeah, you will make enough money to survive.
So I think for me, and plus, even if I lose all my money, I don't lose the skills or the brain that I have and my ability to make money from that. So I don't feel as anxious. Can we talk about this? What are some strategies to develop a healthy money mindset?
Yes, for me, it is a means to an end. Because of my lifestyle, after I hit a certain amount of income, honestly, I wouldn't be chasing money anymore. To me, it's about spending time with friends, being around the people that I care about. I think that's more important to me. And so once I hit a certain income, I wouldn't be chasing for anything more. Yeah. But I think one thing that you mentioned previously was, but what if I have kids? And you said, don't you want to give your kids Zara? So that's something that I haven't really thought of yet, and that may make me chase money a little bit more. But apart from that, if it's just my lifestyle, money is just a means to an end. As much as we love to talk about money here, money is a means to an end. And so I think to have a healthy money mindset is to understand exactly what you want and what you need. Understand yourself. You know that this amount of money will give you enough satisfaction, like the 80-20 rule, 20% effort, get the 80% happiness, and then use all the excess time to chase the things that will make you happy.
Understand the why behind why you need money, why behind the money.
I have a friend as well. There was a point of time we both were really just thinking about money as well and like thinking about chasing money. And I guess the question that we both always had was, how much is enough? I think recently he was chasing a bit more money, and I think that added a lot of stress. So I have a friend who was trying to get he got a job offer and he tried to negotiate up. And
he lost a job offer?
Well, I don't know yet. I don't know whether he lost the job offer or is it still going on, but they already gave him a relatively high salary, trying to negotiate higher, and then they haven't replied to him yet. And so now he's just stressed out about it, right? And so like, why are you like putting yourself through so much stress and trying to chase that little bit more? Again, it wasn't a lot more compared to what he was already making. So just to chase that little bit, you added so much stress to it. Like, is that worth it? And because he's stressed, then it's going to be difficult for him to like just be present with people around him because now he's stressed, he's worried. So like, is that worth it? Right? So I think like healthy money mindset is to understand that, okay, this is enough. Don't chase anymore. Because if you chase, no matter how capable you are, you will always add more stress and complexity to your life.
How can you explain the impact of social comparison on our financial behavior? My career, or my first job, for those of you who don't know, I was a fashion writer at a magazine in Singapore. And as you can imagine, there will be a lot of social comparison in that space. And I think one of the biggest purchase that I regret was a Celine bag that I bought when I was working at Her World. Because
right.
I think I paid like $4,000 for the bag, and I don't even wear it anymore. I'm trying very hard to sell it right now, but I can probably only sell it for like 300 or 500 bucks.
Oh, that's like 10%.
Yeah. So
But why don't you just use the bag?
I don't like it anymore. The thing about fashion and fashion trends is that unless you are buying something that's extremely classic and you know exactly what is classic and what will last for a long time, you will end up not using bags that are old. Firstly, like, even though they're really, really expensive, they are not easy to take care of. Anything that's a little bit trendy would go out of style. And I mean, I guess if you don't really care about trends and looking dated, then it's fine. But then why would you spend $6,000 on a bag if you don't really care about fashion anyway, right? Maybe it's like they like the brand, it's about quality. I personally bought it because I wanted to fit in with the trend, and I bought a bag that was trendy, and I can't wear it now because everyone knows that it's going to be from like 2006 or whichever year it was. I can't remember which year.
Right.
It looked very obviously dated, which I do not want to. Right now I only have one other branded bag, which is a black sling bag that is timeless and I can wear it forever. So those are the only bags that I will pay for now, and it was like $2,000. It was a birthday present. But I have to say though, at least at that point in time in my life, I had to buy it. I didn't have to buy it, but I bought it because I felt like I had to fit in at events for work.
Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have been a very good purchase, right?
My biggest regret. And I was earning 2.5K at that point. So I bought a bag that was like what, 2 months?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So like, how do you think is the best way for someone to avoid that scenario?
Understand what makes you, what I guess is similar to what Ramit Sethi always preaches,
him
right?
again.
He talks about spending extravagantly on things that you love and cutting mercilessly on things that you don't. So pick like 3 categories of things that you really love and really bring you joy, and then don't spend on things that don't. So you can't be spending money on tech, on your hair, on your nails, on your cabs, on your flights, on your clothes, on everything all at once, right?
Right.
You gotta pick. So for me, for example, I have three categories of things that I pick, and right now branded goods just isn't in one of them.
Right. So I mean, it can always shift, but I think what's important is that you need to know what you want. You need to be able to make a decision about what you want first. That way you can prioritize what's important to you and then decide whether or not to spend money on that thing. And I guess for me, that's like tech. I always have the latest iPhone. I always have the latest, actually no, my MacBook's not the latest. I need to buy a new one. So I always have the latest iPhone. I have a MacBook, I have an iPad, I have an Apple Watch.
Yeah.
So these are the things that are important to me. I also spend it on like my backpacks, although they're actually very cheap in comparison to a handbag. These are the things that I care about, and these are the things that I spend on.
He says that you spend extravagantly on the things that you love, and he calls that guilt-free spending. And guilt-free also relates to social comparison in the sense that if drinking Starbucks coffee brings you joy, then who gives a shit about whether your friends around you are like, why are you spending $6 on a latte? Or like if changing your iPhone every year brings you joy, then don't care about the friend who has the same iPhone for the last 10 years and is judging you for it. It's like, what brings you joy?
Yeah.
Regardless of what anyone says about you. So even so, if it brings you joy to buy a $10,000 handbag, like do it, but then cut mercilessly on everything else. It's about like that balance and knowing what brings you joy. Because if the $10,000 bag does not bring you joy, it's only for social comparison, then no, right? Or if Aaron's buying the latest tech just because his friends are all buying it and he doesn't actually even use it to its full potential, it doesn't bring him that much joy, he just buys it out of FOMO, then it's a waste of money.
How do you make that decision, and how did you decide that these are the things you want to spend on?
Oh, good question. I think how I figured it out in a quick summary would be because I always track my expenses, right? So I just kind of look at the patterns of what I've been spending on. And also, I mean, I know myself, right? So I know what brings me joy and I know what I keep spending on. And I also look at the list of things that I spend on and ask myself, like, what can I realistically cut away as much as possible that does not affect my happiness as much? They keep changing, like it keeps changing every year. Fashion was one of my highest priorities maybe like 2 years ago. Now it's a lot less. I spend a lot more money on my facial treatments and things like that. Whereas as I grow older, there'll be things that I prioritize more than others. So beauty treatment used to be my least important, and then now it has increased in importance. Okay, but anyway, I think like we've gone a little further away from psychology of money.
Yeah.
But if you guys are interested in this topic, I think we will probably create like our next episode will probably be on this, since I think it's something that we are both quite like passionate about talking about, like interested
what
in.
we want to spend our money on.
Yes, and what we are cutting on. Like I guess how we decided on that, how we manage that, things like that. That'll be
Quite interesting to talk about.
Yeah. Do you guys want to hear about that? Do you guys want to know my three
Comment
things?
down below-ish.
Okay. Since I think we're done here, click like, comment, and subscribe. I don't think we have gotten down to deciding on our name of this series
This is
yet.
the 4th episode, right?
So can you
What
guys, if we
maybe?
don't already have a name, please leave comments down below. If we already have a name, please give us suggestions on topics that you would like us to cover next.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.